Alrighty, so where are we? What are we doing? Where are we at? What's going on?
Where are we literally?
Sure.
Well, we're in a beautiful little country town overlooking a lovely oval. We'll put some nice footage in here for you guys to see.
Where are you at?
Where am I at?
This is always a learning curve. This is always an experiment. Life is experimental. Right now, in reality, you have no idea what's going on. So you stop pretending. You start exploring the question. You start sharing where you're at. And where you're at should be full of mystery and experiments and questions and uncertainties. There's a lot of uncertainty in life. There's a lot of challenge. There's a lot of difficulty to embrace. We're not here to present, we're so amazing, come everybody, follow us, look at us, tell us, be so impressed by us. We're not here to present anything at all other than our own hearts and our own minds, and we're here sharing this exploration and this experiment with humanity. It's extremely hot where we are today. We did a very intense half-an-hour workout this morning, pushing ourselves. Arwen has been sick for 3 days straight, and the last thing she wanted to do today was get up, but she's having lots of realizations about the importance of perseverance, determination, and how we are, if we struggle with a self-doubting mind and a self-doubting ego, that it's very, very important that we get to grips with the fear and the limitation of our own mind and the self-doubt and the disbelief. And so, we have to wake up in a day and prepare ourselves to be pushed. So what she did here, we'll show you this oval that we're at here. She got up and she forced herself to do 5 full laps, full runs without stopping. Then she did 5 sets of jumps up onto these tires here. We'll show you some footage of those too. And then she did another 5 sets of jumping over the tires, this different group of tires, which we'll show you as well. Now, her own self-doubt was questioning whether she could even do 3 laps of the oval, and yet she forced herself to do 5, and then she forced herself to do 2 more sets of different exercises. So this is where we're at. This is what we're working on. We're working on self-inspiration and motivation, and overcoming our resistances and overcoming our limitations. That's what we're here to share. We're not here to be presenters. We're not here to get the likes and the clicks and the views. We're just here to share our heart and communicate with people who may want to share in this energy and share in this inspiration. They may need support. We don't know. We have no idea how people are going to react or respond to this. We're not here to impress people or to follow the trends of the algorithms and make everything what the algorithm wants us to do. We're just here to share. So let's take a step back from any kind of false presentation or programming or anything like that, and let's just be honest about the challenges and the difficulty that we're facing. Now, I mentioned to you a few days ago this idea of mystical manifestation, and that's because we see a lot of corruption in the modern world of spirituality, where everybody thinks spirituality is about manifesting the life that you want. And okay, let's explore that. There is some truth to that. The power of the mind to create, the power of the mind to transform the present moment, to transform your body, to transform your life in very powerful, wonderful ways. But I would ask you, this funnel through which your power is being guided, this filter, where does that come from? Is this your conditioning that you're trying to please? When you're trying to cultivate the power of manifestation, and so your power, your energy, your focus is being guided through a certain formula, let's say, a certain kind of intention and will and focus and visualization. Where does that visualization come from? Is it the conditioning? Are you trying to please the conditioning? This little inner rebel who's full of fear and anxiety and worry and stress, are you trying to please that part of you? This thing that says, I don't like myself, I hate how I look, I despise people, I despise the world, I'm afraid of social encounters and all of these other scary things, are you trying to please that? Is that what your manifestation is about? That thing says we're not allowed to be happy now because we're too fat, we're too ugly, and so we need to fix all those things. We don't have enough money, and so I need more money, and I want a big house, and I want a fancy car, and I want the newest technology, and so that's going to be what I'm going to manifest. That's not mystical manifestation, that's a corruption. So, let's get back to where we're at. How are you doing? I've just shared a bit of my heart, my mind, what I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, what I'm observing. That's what I share is a part of the movement, a part of the challenge, the difficulty that I face, because I can sit here in silence and stillness and be at peace if I want to. That's very nice for me. But that doesn't help the part of me that needs help and support and inspiration, motivation and challenge and discipline. It's got a lot of problems that it needs help with. And I would imagine, potentially, although a lot of the people who come to this channel will need help and encouragement to detach and to become still and calm and quiet and experience a deep peace. Somebody recently mentioned the term spiritual bypass, and in the more correct sense of this, we are not here to bypass the world. We are not here to run from responsibility. We are not here to run from ourselves or run from humanity or run from the challenge of living. We are here to find balance, to cultivate stillness and peace while pushing our life and our body and our mind and our energy in the direction that we want it to go. And if you ask me personally which way I want to go, spiritual evolution, collective evolution towards a greater enlightened society, a more enlightened civilization, a more peaceful and harmonious and loving civilization. But the way into that is discipline, wisdom, structure, connection, community, communication, abandoning things like greed, abandoning things like hatred, a love-based economy, love for the body, love for the energy of this life, love for each other, love for community, love for society, love for humanity, love for the world, love for our future together. So that's what I focus on, and that's fucking hard. That's very difficult to do. You want to wake up each day and push yourself, motivate yourself, go beyond your depression, go beyond your anxiety, inspire your brain, guide your thoughts, guide each other. You want to do that? Well, I hope you're ready for a challenge. So I share a little bit of that. Yes, we are going to get to the point where we're sharing things like meditation, practices, meditation groups, so we can share in the silence and the stillness and the peace, which is all very beautiful and wonderful. But we also need to look at the demons, look at the shadows, look at the hard shit, and learn how to help each other move forward and move through this insanity, this insane economy, this warmongering society. We need to address this and approach this with wisdom. So when I share a little bit of my side of that, that's what you'll hear, if that's what you want to connect to. So how are you doing? And finally, before you speak, this is just speaking from the heart. It's not presentation. You know what I mean? It's just honesty. It's where you're at. So how are you going with everything?
Well, I'm still here.
What have you been going through for the last few days? Since we last caught up with everybody?
Yeah, I've been going through it. Just deep in the dark depths of my own self, my depression, my lack of motivation, my lack of self-belief, and just stuck in that, completely clouded.
You've also been sick.
I've also been sick, so there's been a lot happening. We've had a lot of changes in our life happening this week.
Some very significant ones.
A lot of things coming to a close, a lot of new chapters beginning to open. And yeah, I got really bad throat infection, really bad kind of migraine headache.
A lot of challenges, right?
Yeah, just a lot of challenges. So yeah, I've been going through it. Yeah, and then kind of had the realization yesterday. We had a big talk. Like, again, yesterday I struggled to get up. I struggled to do what I needed to do, what I know deep down that I want to do, what I need to be doing for myself. I let those things slip and I just ignore them and don't want to look at them and I run from them. So yesterday was another day of that, and then luckily having you around, you're able to kind of
Be an arsehole.
fucking bitch slap.
To be a tough reflection, that's all.
A brutally honest reflection, to the point where, you know, I'm breaking down.
A loving arsehole.
Yeah, it's very. It's if someone in your life is prepared to be that honest, it's love. It's not fear.
It's a fine line that we walk. It's a very fine line that we walk when these reflections are very essential to us. Somebody like me has learned to be brutally self-honest. I've been where you are. I've followed depression to its very, very end. I've seen the nothing and the abandonment at the end of that road. I've been there. And I had to make a hard choice to pull myself out of that pit. Thankfully, I went through an apprenticeship where I learned all of these methods and skills of self-mastery, where I can influence my brain, influence my energy. But I still followed it all the way to the end. I still had to sink as low as possible, and then spent years and years and years and years and years and years clawing my way out of that. And so somebody at my level, at my age, has learned how to do that all in a self-contained manner within self-mastery, and to listen to the suggestion of life, like, you're not alone here. You've got the whole world around you. The whole spirit of life is here with you. But you can rebel against it, you can deny it, you can run from it.
Ignore it.
Somebody like me, though, has learned how to listen and to gently develop my life, to develop the day, to develop my energy, to develop my enlightenment, to develop my life, simply put, and to develop this life. And so we need that. My teacher did it for me. We need that brutal, sometimes very gentle reflection. Go ahead.
Yes, well, the brutal but also gentle and loving reflection led me basically into a breakdown yesterday, just realizing that I am crushing myself. Like, I want to move forward and there's all these things that I want to be doing and I need to be doing in order to, like, live a better life and give myself a better life, the life that maybe I do deserve. But I'm not doing those things, so I'm crushing myself. I sit there like, oh, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing this, and I let my brain think that stuff for months, but yet every single day I don't wake up and do it. So I'm crushing myself, I'm paralyzed, and I'm just basically, like, slowly killing myself. I just was like, my brain screaming internally, like, you're killing me, stop killing me. Stop killing me. So yeah, that was interesting, but then also coming through the other side of that and really acknowledging that that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that.
So this is where your life has led you to, right?
This is where following that thing has led me to. Following all the self-doubt, following the laziness, following the self-hatred. That's where it's led me to a point of just complete paralysis. Not being able to move forward.
Limited.
Completely limited. Barrier after barrier after barrier after barrier after barrier.
And that's where you need to go. Like, your life takes you there for a reason. You follow the conditioning, and this is impersonal. This is not your fault, and it's nobody's fault. This is evolution of consciousness. society, humanity has brought itself to this point. You are not alone here. I know for a fact many people, if they've stuck out to this video up to this point, many of the people still watching this will be saying, that's me. Maybe not exactly, but I struggle with the same thing. She's talking as if she's talking from my own heart, my own mind. We were all led here. We've all been led here. Some people don't see this. They don't see it this way. They're still entertained by the world and their prospects in society. They're still trying to make it work. They are now where you were a few years ago. My situation was collapsing at 17 years old, completely collapsing. So what do you do about it? Where do you go with it? It's not your fault, but it is within you, and it is going on within you all the time. And we can't wait. There's no Messiah. There is nobody coming to click their fingers and suddenly make it all better. We're talking about the work of eternity here, something that is called the great work in the occult, in the world of the occult. It is called the great work because it is the greatest work. You're telling me you want to work with consciousness itself, evolving your own consciousness and the consciousness of the world and the consciousness of humanity. Do you understand the monstrous task that you have there? You're up against it. You really do have a challenge on your hands. You've got to walk very gently, very carefully, and very wisely, and very determinedly, and also very seriously with this endeavor. You have to take yourself seriously, consider your life seriously, consider your mind, your heart, your energy, your emotion, your thought, your action, your inaction, your conditioning, all of it. You have to bring it into perspective each day, meditate on these things, contemplate on these things. Hopefully the wind isn't getting too bad. If it is, please do bear with us. We are in just a really beautiful outdoor environment.
It's too hot to be in the van.
So when people try to approach spirituality these days, they run into this shallow, easy fix. You're already enlightened. Just be still, sit still, and everything will happen, and it'll all happen for you. Unfortunately, and as my teacher once said to me, getting there isn't the hard part. The hard part is what you do when you get there. What that means is, yes, you can abandon your responsibilities and step away from everyone and become a deep meditator and sit in isolation and go very deep into these deep states of mind. But you are going to have to come back from that one day. You are going to have to learn to live. You are going to have to learn to take care of yourself, to love the world, to love your life. You are going to have to learn to cultivate the kind of life you want to live. You are going to have to learn to live with discipline and structure and sanctuary. You are going to have to learn how to cultivate a sanctuary, protect your mind, protect your life. We are really up against it here in this economy. Life here can be very, very difficult, and society doesn't make it easy for people who aren't interested in trying to climb the top of some imaginary ladder and become a millionaire. The whole of the school system is designed to put you through this process, to train you up to become a great worker bee and send you off into the system and contribute to the system and the growth of the economy, and so we can build our weapons and we can go to wars and all the rest of it. It's one big giant machine of shit. And if you're not interested in being a part of that, well, how are you going to find another way? Do you think you get to just retreat into a cave and crawl into a bed and that's going to fix everything? You're welcome to do that. Do it as much as you want, but you'll watch your life decay, your body decay, your mental health go downhill, your relationships will fall apart, your ability to function will fall apart. Do you have the strength to come back and forge the kind of life you want to live, which takes the daily grind of self-mastery? Your meditations, your physical practices and disciplines, your mental practices and disciplines, your spiritual practices and disciplines. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. So if we're talking about mystical manifestation is the the deep and real version of this world of manifestation. Do you know your energy? Do you know presence? Do you know the love of reality, the love of God? If some people, if you want to put the term God on this highest source of life, where life originates from, your highest and truest identity, interconnected with all things, totally in love, in present energy, that energy is love. And because mind at that level is in touch with that energy, it experiences a tremendous love for itself, a literal blissful energy of complete and total unity with itself and love and adoration. It just wants the best for itself. It wants to share. It wants to end suffering. It wants to end confusion. It wants you to relax. It wants you to be enjoying your eternal life. That's really what it wants for you. So what are you trying to manifest? Are you trying to manifest something just for yourself and you're totally ignoring this higher functioning of life? Are you trying to manifest global unity, global community, commingled unity, love, the sharing of resources? Are you trying to manifest a way of life for yourself and this human species, which is harmonious, which is peaceful, which is without war, which is without greed, which is without corruption? That's mystical manifestation. That's what we go to work on every day. And it is a daily lifestyle of deep presence, getting to know this energy of presence and how it moves and how it needs to move and how it needs to be guided very carefully, very lovingly, how it needs to be encouraged towards a better state of evolution, to go deeper, to go further, to get stronger, to explore more, to expand, to be shared. This energy of presence needs this. It needs to function in an unlimited capacity. All right, well then mystics manifest this daily. And when they get really good at it, they learn to, actually they get permission from their own heart, their own higher mind, to begin to share it, because they've cultivated a very deep and strong and powerful presence, and a very real and sincere and capable love. And when I say and capable, love, they have become capable of deep love. They have become powerful, and so they start to then gently share their energy with the people around them and the world. Most of the time, many of them will have lived in a strong isolation before that, a strong inward exploration and contemplation, a very simple present life of practice and energy, using whatever disciplines they've gravitated towards, whatever particular paths of mystical cultivation, methods of mystical cultivation they have gravitated towards. But this mystic society is about mystical manifestation. Those who need each other, who can recognize they need each other. Maybe they need a little bit of encouragement to go inward, more inward, but ultimately to come back to each other, to keep going in this world and this society. The situation down here, led by the politicians, led by the greedy corporations, is just an absolute shit fight. It's a mess, and for many of us it does not work, and it will never work. There is no hope in that world for us. So we come back to each other, those who are mystically inclined. We begin to form our own little, call it private but open society, and we support each other and help each other. But that's not to say that we deny the fact that we have a great challenge within us. This depressive abandonment, this desire to die, desire to leave, because the world is such a mess, we just want to leave it behind. And so if that's what we're struggling with, then we have a real challenge on our hands. You want to build a kingdom and an empire for which you can live in happily, freely, peacefully. You know how much work that takes over many generations. Are we ready to get to work? Are people going to come together to begin to support each other openly, in strength, in support of each other, to motivate each other, to help each other, to inspire each other? We know we can't rely on anyone else. Anyway, do you want to take over a little bit? That's a lot of rambling.
No, I think that's good. I like where you're going.
Well, where are you going?
Well, you asked me yesterday, I was following the depression. And today, things are a lot lighter and a lot better.
Clearer?
Clearer.
So what has brought that clarity? What happened yesterday? If people watching this are feeling they're maybe struggling with a similar thing, they've got a similar challenge, a similar depression, they look at the world and they look at the media each day and it's just misery and depression, it's not interesting to them and they feel alone and isolated. Share a little bit of what did you do? What happened yesterday to give you this deeper clarity of how this, you can no longer follow this depression, this resistance or isolation or limitation? What truths do you have to look at?
I guess the truth of, like, it's all within you. All of that stuff that's holding you back, that's making you so angry, that's making you so depressed, it's all in you. And you are literally the only one that can do something about it. No one's coming to save you. Like, you're alone in there. And if you're not listening and you're not seeing and you're ignoring it or running from it, the pain just becomes greater and greater and greater. But I think yesterday I realised that the pain's there no matter what. You're going to be in pain. Like this, all of this is painful.
Suffering.
We're suffering. So
what do you do with suffering? What do you have to do with suffering?
And you have to go against it.
What's another way of saying that? This suffering self, this miserable, frustrated, isolated, fearful, hateful, depressed self, what are you going to do with it?
Love it.
Right. Care for it. Work with it.
Look after it.
Yeah, if you have followed it long enough to see its isolation and its misery, and to know that to just keep dwelling in that just sustains it. That force, that downward spiral just deepens, and not only, if you go very deep into it, it starts to attack the body. The mental health starts to get really seriously developed and programmed into a downward spiral, so it gets harder and harder to break out of. Your ability to function falls apart. Your daily life falls apart. You start to lose, if it gets really bad, you start to lose interest in hygiene and self-care. How far into that do you need to go before you realize it just gets worse and worse? Until at some point, what hits you is the realization that you have to do something about this.
Mm-hmm.
You have to embrace the change. And
you can do something about it. That's
something can be done, yeah. Oh, absolutely, it can be done.
That was like really hard yesterday to have that realization, but on the other side of it, the relief of knowing that, it's actually okay. Like, I can get up and I can do that and things will improve. Things will get better. There's like an antidote to it.
Mm-hmm. There is. In maybe more traditional Buddhist language, there is emphasis on transforming suffering. Suffering is there to be transformed. It is not to be got rid of. It is not to be run from. It is not to be denied. It is to recognize that bodies age, they grow old, and they get painful. And you can help that process by exercise, looking after the body, eating well, etc. Your mental health, your brain deteriorates as you get older, and you can help that in certain ways with certain mental exercises. There is a great challenge in this environment to live and work and pay the rent and pay the bills, and so we can help that by coming together, supporting each other, living more simply. The fear of death, for example, is an element of suffering. Well, you can help that with meditation and learning to detach from the body and seeing more deeply into the nature of consciousness, to realize deathlessness, to realize multi-life reality, the multiverse. So there are these issues and problems which some people call suffering, and if you embrace this, then you can get to work slowly, helping it, transforming it. There are ancient mystical methods, there are ancient methods from all around the world, how to deal with various ailments, various issues, whether it's more modern mental health terms like depression and anxiety and whatever, limiting self-view, limiting self-belief, whatever shape the conditioning has taken, however miserable it has become, you can work on it, you can work with it, you can transform it. And actually you have to, because if you don't, it's not going to change. It's just going to become more and more stagnant, more and more miserable.
Yeah, well, that's what we did yesterday, kind of after having this big realization. My body was in a lot of pain, my lower back, had cramps in the front, and just feeling so much pain in my body. So we started to stretch and move, and my body was stretching through positions that it struggled for months to be able to get in. I've been dealing with injuries, and I was just shaking these injuries out, feeling them, being in touch with them, like all this pain that's just stored in my body, moving through it instead of like just laying there in bed and rotting and just letting the pain build up. We moved through it, and it felt so good to push myself into these positions that were painful, because I was pushing. The pain was there anyway, but if I push the pain, then it releases.
You walked into it.
Yeah.
You started to work with it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we went out and laid on this field out here at about 9 o'clock at night under the stars.
Sprinklers.
A completely clear sky, and the sprinklers came on, and we decided we don't care, we're going to lay down in one blanket, getting absolutely drenched occasionally as the sprinklers came around, looking for UFOs in the sky, because life can open up. There is a lot of beauty here.
Yeah.
There is a lot of joy to be experienced. There is a lot of love to be experienced. But a bit of a warrior spirit is needed, especially to deal with things like pain and discomfort, to keep gently working with it. And as I expressed to you last night, I've been chipping away at this for 2 years with you. I've been looking at all of this stuff, knowing the time will come, you'll begin to see this stuff, and I've been gently encouraging things in you and reminding you of things, little pointers to help. And this is one of the things a lot of people maybe don't quite fully grasp about spirituality in the modern world. It's almost like the modern spirituality has a sense of entitlement, like, oh, just because I'm here, I deserve everything, I deserve the universe, because the fact that I exist means I'm the king of life itself, you know? Whereas, actually, I've personally spent the last 2 years working my arse off with you. This is just you. Obviously, there's other people too that I've been dealing with. Watching you, meditating with you, loving you, trying to care for you, trying to encourage these little energies, these little awakenings, these little insights. So you've gotten to this point after 2 years because of, and I'm not saying it's all because of me, but
No,
I'm saying you've been putting in this effort for 2 years, this cultivation, and you're having these breakthroughs now, big breakthroughs, big shifts in your energy. Like, you've been working your arse off for that.
But so have you. It's really funny, like, once you come out the other end of that realization, or a little bit come out the other end of it, like, you start to piece things together a lot, because you can finally see more clearly. And like the amount of work that you've just been putting in the background, just like chipping away at things and experimenting with things, and like your brain must be like a puzzle trying to work out my awakening. Like, well, let's put it there, let's do this.
That's what love does. That's what love does for you.
Yeah.
It's here for you. It just wants to see you happier, better, freer, more relaxed, with less suffering. So it will go to work. And yeah, there's no... every person is unique, their conditioning is unique, and love will embrace you in the ways that you need. But it is all experimental. Trying to encourage life to transform and grow requires a lot of effort, and it doesn't always work. Some things work, some things don't. So mystical manifestation then is a recognition that there is this deep life within you and this deep need for you to come back to something very deep within yourself, to come back to this presence, to come back to this energy, get to know it, learn how it operates, not how you want it to operate. Learn how to assimilate with presence, to get to know the peace and relaxation that's there, and then to also learn how to live there. Keep going from there, love from there. That place is more connected to everyone around you. This is why the term selflessness and selfless service gets introduced, because you start to recognize that actually your life isn't about you. That's just your conditioning. What I want to make me happy. Actually, if I put that down and maybe I ask myself this question, there is this life here. I want to spend some time really getting to know this present moment. I want to learn to be very present. I want to learn to detect the energy operating through this body and through this brain. I want to learn to observe. This is just detection we're talking about. Get to know the thing, not do anything with it. Step one is get to know it. So you have this whole life here. How much time do you spend here in presence just as an observer? Getting to know the nature of this breath, of this psychology, of the muscles of the body, of the fitness and the strength of the body, of the flexibility of the body, of the level endurance of the body, of the diet of the body, and how all of these things impact the body. We're just talking about the physical body here. This is observation. Learn to look at these things. Then you have the earth, physical environment that you're in. How much time do you spend here in nature and the wind? And then there's other people, there's community, and observing the nature of your relationships with other people. So you spend many, 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 many years getting to know this present moment and the energy, the subtle energy behind the present moment, the life force, and how that works. And once you get very familiar with what that is, and it fills you full of energy and excitement and passion for life, because you're actually starting to detect reality at this point, the unfoldment of life itself. Now, let me ask you at this point, where are you personally in all of this? Where are all your wishes and wants for possessions and objects and material wealth? They have nothing to do with it. That's all just to do with you. We're here in mystical manifestation, in mystical reality. We're talking about life, not you as the person. You're irrelevant. You get to know the reality of the present moment and all of the life that's here. Now, on your path, in your practice, once you learn to be a good representative or friend and companion of that life, once you've learned to move your body and your brain and your energy in a way that's harmonious with that life, so that you start to experience more freedom and love and openness, not to mention mystical experience, where you're actually starting to see the reality of God for yourself, as yourself. You're getting to know awareness, truth. Okay, after several years of contact and getting to know this present moment, you will then start to build a life which is connected and caring and intimate with and for that life. So that's mystical manifestation, at which point now you want to walk forward living a life in harmony and unity with all of the life around you, to help all of the life around you keep going in love, in connection, in unity. And so a mystic's manifestation is universal. It is not personal. It is, I am here in service to this great life that is unfolding here. And I want to be with that all day, every day. And I want to be in love with that. And I want to care for it. I want to be a husband to this life. That's mystical manifestation. And in that, as any good husband will know, and any good wife will know, when you're deeply in love and it's working, the situation just gets better and better for you all the time, because you're always working on refining and improving your life together. And so let me say, if your husband or your wife is the universe, you've got some really cool things to look forward to there. So many of you may have been experiencing, many of you may have experienced deep meditation and wondered, where does it go? What do you do with it? What's the point in it? Well, meditation, the peace of meditation that comes from sitting still and not being too active in life, is wonderful. It's very beautiful, it's very good for you. But there's this whole other side of you the psychology of the brain, the body, the operation of the body, the energy of the present moment, the earth, the consciousness of humanity, society, the politics of humanity, education. That's the world. That's the world of humanity. And mysticism embraces that too. Mysticism is the whole picture of life. It is not just you on your own personal journey, making everything about you and what you're doing today. The idea is to integrate what you take to be your life with the whole, and through meditation you realize the unity. Meditation allows you to actually detect and see how your body and psychology and your being is not separate from the whole. That's the first realization to have. After that is, how do you live with that? How do you keep going with that on a collective level, on a global level? How do you support the rest of life to go through that process of realization? And how do you care for it while it's going through that realization? And that's where we come together. That's where mystical manifestation becomes about everybody coming together for the same objective, what we're calling the love-based economy. A shared vision of community and society, where love makes all the decisions. Love is at the forefront. What do people really need? What do we need as a collective to help our spirit evolve towards peace and greater enlightenment? And the mystical traditions have established the foundation for us. We're not here to decide that. We're here to figure that out, to uncover it. Mystic society has been on the earth for as long as humans have been here. There are many methods and traditions and cultures and exercises and disciplines and practices and ways of being. Some religions have some essences within them, some hearts of pure information, pure guidance and pure support, pure energy. And so we bring the real light of our life, the beauty and the real passion of our spirit that we have brought with us through these various stages of evolution. And then we dig into what's most important, what's real, what's reflecting the love and the unity at the heart of all these religions, what practices work, what forms of cultivation work. If you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years of your life dedicated to these disciplines, and it awakens greater freedom and spirituality and potential and love in you and real energy and real spiritual experience and mystical experience, then that's what's going to evolve us going forward. And so we embrace this as a society, start to practice together, support each other's practice. The politicians aren't interested in this. They're interested in the money, the finance, which investors are going to see the biggest returns on their investment, what technology is going to produce the most amount of money. That's where they're looking. Okay, that's one element of our life, and that is something we have to look at. But what we would look at technology from the point of view of which technology is going to generate greater resources and love and support and things like food and housing, happiness. What technology can we use to help cultivate a way of life which has great freedom, great space, great time for creativity and love and connection, not which technology is going to make the most money. So this is where we say love, the love for ourselves, the love for our life, the love for each other, the love for this earth, the love for this universe. And we're not even having a conversation yet about our next door neighbours, the ETs, the extraterrestrials that have been here trying to fucking talk to us for so long that we've been ignoring. In the same way that earlier we said, over the last 2 years, this extraterrestrial has been here trying to communicate certain things to you.
Oh God, I can only imagine.
And you haven't been intentionally ignoring it, but you found it hard to hear it. And I've been through that before.
Like, you're trying your best to listen, but until you are ready to hear it, you can't hear it.
Until you really want to hear it, and then really force yourself to open up in that way. Yes, we have the same reality going on here with very advanced extraterrestrial civilizations, interdimensional civilizations that have been trying to help us and teach us and grow us up for millennia, that we're still unfortunately ignoring, some people.
Creating weapons to
fight
be able
them,
to fight them and
to
shoot
hurt
them
them,
and harm them.
to control them, trying to bring our shit to the table, instead of waking up to the fact that we need to evolve and let it all go in order to open up to that literal, cosmic, universal community and reality. So that's a whole other conversation in itself. But that's where mystic society is headed. We are here testing humanity. Are you ready yet? Have you had enough of your shit yet? You want to go beyond this ridiculously insane ego?
Tired of yourself yet? Have you exhausted the
Have you had
depths
enough?
of yourself yet?
When will enough be enough? Do you remember that video we did a while back?
Yeah.
When will enough be enough?
Yeah.
Well, when it's enough. So let's make it enough. You know, it helps to point this stuff out, to really reflect on it, to contemplate it. Be very honest with yourself. Look at the suffering. Stop hiding from it. Stop denying it. Stop pretending. Look at how miserable you are and you have become, and let's, from that point of view of honesty, let's then develop strategy, mystical spirituality, daily effort, daily lifestyle to transform that slowly. And if we can do that collectively in a generation, well, most of these issues will be resolved. But we're up against it because the human ego, for some reason, it still wants to invest trillions of dollars in war and insane weapons of control and destruction because it's fearful and doesn't trust itself. It fears its neighbor. Anyway, so mystical manifestation is all about first awakening to the truth of your own heart, the truth of the present moment, the energy of the present moment, surrendering yourself to what is already present and already here. Now, it might take you many years to surrender fully. Absolute surrender in deep stillness, where you abandon yourself fully, once and for all, finally. To cultivate that moment of absolute letting go is the apprentice mystic's objective. In that moment of absolute surrender where you get to fully, finally see yourself as God, as awareness, the reality of cosmic awareness, you become a mystic from that. At that point, you realize what mysticism is there. You realize what mystics have aspired towards, what they dedicate their whole life towards. That's the first objective. From there, you learn how to live as a mystic, and that is experimental, universal, connected to the source, and here to genuinely help all life evolve towards peace. Because it's just the better way to go. If your only two options are encourage greater suffering and stress, or encourage a relinquishment of that stress and abandoning of it, which cultivates more peace, which way are you going? Obviously, you're going towards peace.
Yeah, you said to me yesterday, like, every single moment determines your next moment. So, you know,
Karma.
getting up and doing training this morning and applying myself determined the next moment for me to be able to show up here not feeling like a fucking liar. You know, feeling like I got up and I did something about what I'm going through this morning.
It required that initial effort, initial input. We use the term, the metaphor of, or analogy of a farmer. We're cultivating the ground at this stage. There is no fruit here yet. In fact, what you're seeing now is little sprouts of the seeds that we've been growing for the last 2 years. And to a seed whose whole universe is below the topsoil, deep in the soil, for its first little sprout to pop up out of the ground is like a whole awakening. It has no idea what it's going to become, though. It has no idea of its true function to fully mature into a food source to feed the intelligence that planted it in the first place, to support the life that put the seed there. That's why the seed is there. It's been planted to go through a process of maturity, to bear fruit, and that fruit is there to sustain the intelligence, the life that planted the seed to begin with. So, but for the seed, as it's having these first breakthroughs, it's like the whole world is waking up or transforming. It's so powerful, but it's really nothing in the grand scheme of things, and you keep going. So, yeah, but it's also seasonal. There's a time to plant, there's a time to step back and watch it grow, and then there's a let nature do its thing, but then you step in with additional nutrients and resources. You protect the seed from bugs and doubts and questions, and the next door neighbor who says you'll never grow anything in that soil, it's barren. Oh, well, we'll cultivate the soil for 2 years and put all the nutrients in them. There's ways around every doubt, every issue, every problem. That's self-mastery. That's the world of self-mastery. There is no doubt. The fact of karma, which is a universal principle of reality, means every atom of life can be transformed. It doesn't matter what doubt you want to throw at me, it's a lie. The fact of karma, I'm not making that up. This is a fact. Every atom of life can be transformed. It does not matter what state you are in, what hell you have gotten yourself into. There is absolutely always a way out. You just might not know how to see it. And so you look deeper, you look more intensely. You try this way and that way and this way, and eventually you unlock the door. So that's a fact. So this is mystical manifestation. This is manifestation on the level of reality. Not this false corruption that wants you to think you don't have to put any effort in because you're already enlightened, and all you have to do is sit there and tell yourself that you're powerful and you're beautiful and you're attractive and everything's going to come your way, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and there's going to be $1 million coming your way, and all you have to do is think that and think that and think that. It's just a corruption of the modern society, the modern egotistical desire to not have to do any effort, not have to put in any effort.
Which actually also feeds back into the same structure and society that we're trying to move away from.
It's been hijacked by the same business model.
Yeah. Right. Manifest $1 million and a bigger house and a better car, and it's all just feeding into that same ego.
So, a question for you, dear viewers. How are you doing? Where are you at? Where's your mystical manifestation at? How's your life going? Are you happy? Are you motivated? Are you inspired? Is the economy getting you down? Are you struggling? Do you have support? Do you have the strength to make it through this? I'm giving you a lot of questions. Pick one if you want to, it's fine. How does this communication help you? Does you, sitting here, listening to these two human beings have this discussion about principles of life and principles of their own experience, is it helping you? How is it helping you? Are you involved? Are you connected here? Are you experiencing the same thing from where you sit? Does your world look similar? Do you have barriers? Do you have limitations to your own growth? Is there things that we can discuss specifically to help you, to motivate you, to support you? As I've said before, you're welcome to reach out. There are many channels now we have established, and they are slowly, we're receiving emails here and there, we're receiving comments through messages through Facebook, and our social media, the engagement is going up, and unfortunately we kind of have to play this game a little bit because society is going that way whereby it's all about online, it's all about social media communication, and so we're trying to essentially put forward into these channels that society has developed a little bit of peace and connection and support and love. And so we do hope that it's serving you in some way. We would love for you to be active here, an active participant, exploring this self-mastery together. We're doing this every day anyway. So, anything you want to explore anymore or cover? Anything more you want to share about your own realizations or challenges?
No.
No?
No, but it might be nice. Could we finish off with like a little bit of a meditation? A little bit of like a rounding out, calming down, relaxing.
You want to do a meditation?
Just a little one, yeah.
All right. Alrighty, so there's many different directions you can go with self-mastery, with communication, with programming the brain, with sharing psychology, sharing the head, sharing the thoughts, sharing the energy. Meditation is one of those. Meditation is all about coming into contact with the present moment, learning to watch, learning to be present as presence, and not deviate from presence. Some side effects of meditation are relaxation, a settling of the anxiety, a settling of the self that is stressed and anxious and worried and fearful and grasping. Another side effect is an unlocking of powerful energy. If you do it a lot, if you meditate a lot and well, you unlock very deep reservoirs of energy within you. Another element, just before we get into a bit of a practical thing, is not meditation, which people call today guided meditation, which is actually hypnosis. It's guiding the psychology. That's what happens in these talks. When we sit here and we have these conversations about mystical principles, the words that we're speaking and the energies that we're transmitting and the ideas that we're sharing go into your brain and begin to bounce around in there as psychology and thought, changing the structure of your brain. That's hypnosis. Guided meditation, where you sit with your eyes closed and somebody guides you into a very relaxed state and then takes you on a journey of visualization. That's all just hypnosis. That's going to influence your brain. But let's do some meditation here with a maybe a minor hypnotic presentation. So make yourself comfortable. If you want to take a moment to move to a different part of the house, or go into your bedroom and lay down, or if you're sitting and watching this on a phone, put the phone down next to you, turn it up a little bit, lie down, or just sit there and close your eyes. Let's explore just a moment of conscious intention, willful self-programming, which we will then evolve into a meditation. So just take a moment to relax where you are. If you want to close your eyes, you're welcome to. You're welcome to keep your eyes open too, but it's up to you. Just make yourself comfortable. And then take a moment to just tune into your breathing and take a nice deep breath. Holding it at the top, just for a second, and then breathing out fully and deeply. And as you breathe out fully and deeply, just let all of your body sink into that breath. Do the same again, breathing in. Do this in your own time. You don't have to do it at the same time as me. And relaxing as you breathe out, just settling into the body, feeling how the body feels. Breathing in deeply and holding it slightly at the top. Continue doing this as I talk, breathing out, relaxing, breathing all the way out, fully pushing all the air out of your lungs. And as you're breathing like this for a moment, just explore the body. Can you identify any tension? Are your shoulders tight and hunched and tense? Can you relax them? How about your arms? How about your fingers and your hands? Can you just allow your body to be taken by gravity, sink into wherever you're sitting or wherever you're laying, just for a moment, let go. For now, just keep breathing intentionally, deeply, breathing all the way in and all the way out. In a moment, I'll tell you to stop doing that and just relax the breath. But just keep going for a moment longer. Relaxing the body. One more breath in. Big one. And then let it go all the way out and relax. Now let go of any movement. Let go of any intentional breathing just for a second and just feel the body presently. Feel the breathing of the body. Feel the wind. Feel the fresh air if you can feel a breeze. Feel the body relaxing with every breath out. Allow yourself to sink into this moment right here, right now. And I want you to just take a second to just be on your own in there, inside, in your body, in the present moment, and just gently consider what we've been talking about here today. Mystical manifestation. How are you doing with this in your life, in your practice? Honestly, are you making progress? Have you fallen into a kind of depression and despair? Are you honest with yourself about your challenges and your difficulties and your deep spiritual wishes for yourself and your life? Honestly, are you getting too caught up in the stress and the misery of the world and the politics, the bullshit? Honestly, are you spending enough time in your body, in health, cultivating health and wellness and well-being? Do you have a deep love in your life, a deep passion? Do you know energy? Do you know how to cultivate energy? Do you know how to cultivate love, connection? Are you isolated in some ways? Are you fearful? Are you anxious? Could you be doing better? Could you be helping yourself more? That's what these conversations are for. We are not here just to talk at you for no reason. We love silence. We love stillness. We love being alone in nature, training and walking, without a care in the world, apart from caring for ourselves. We're not here just to put this in front of you as entertainment. This is a gift we are hoping to share and give for you. Perhaps some reflection, perhaps some honest acknowledgement. Could you be doing more for yourself? Is there something going on within you that you've known for a long time needs your attention and you've been ignoring it? That's what this conversation is about, mystical manifestation. So that's just a little bit of intentional self-programming. If you want to go that way, it's very wise to go that way. Contemplation, reflection. And then there's meditation, which is where you get to put everything down. So let's go there now. Allow yourself to put down all this knowledge and information and all this responsibility. Come right into the center of your experience, right in the middle, right here. Tune into this energy, this breath, this life, this mystical moment, this mysterious moment. Don't judge it, don't label it, don't run from it, don't fear it. Be it. Be one with it now. And allow yourself to stay with it. That's the key. It's very easy to be present for 1 second or 2 seconds. It's very difficult to be present from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. But that's the objective. That's what the aspiring mystic aspires towards. That's the skill we cultivate daily. So be here. Tune in totally to the energy of the present moment. Don't try to do anything with it. Don't try to take it anywhere. Don't try to manifest. Don't turn it into a desire. Just watch this nature of life. And relax. Whatever it's doing, be there. Breathe with it. Don't try to control it. If it starts to get a little bit uncomfortable, if the body needs to move, that's fine. Let the body move. It's not about sitting like a stone or trying to be like a statue. It's simply about being totally present and staying there, sustaining this. Do you know this present mind? How deeply do you know it? This practice of meditation is yours. To know this mind, to know this life. This mystical mind is already manifest. Are you aware? Are you aware? Of this mystical manifestation? Alrighty. That's just a little bit of a guided exploration. Ultimately, it's yours. You have to go with it yourself. You have to sustain it. Nobody makes you do this stuff. It's an invitation. That's all it is. It's an invitation. Do you want to be here too? You want to learn to love this presence deeply and then develop your life here. Mystic Society is an open door. It's an open invitation. And the only requirement is that. It's for those who want to cultivate this presence very deeply, for the benefit of their own life and for the life of the whole world. Okay, is there anything else you want to cover?
Nope.
Are you all quiet and calm now?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.
Goodbye for now.